roof off for Tim Noon.
That was good. It's like a hairdryer in here. I hope everyone's going well. I hope you're all having a good time. Except you. I hate you. What's your name?
Joe.
Joe? I thought so. Are there any other Joes here tonight? Good. Even if there are and you didn't put your hand up. That's smart. I have a finite amount of space in my brain. They say that's not a thing, but I swear to God it is. And whenever somebody tells me something, I have a habit of forgetting something else really important. Like the other day, a friend of mine said, Tim, did you know that if you take an Australian cockatoo and put it in France, it could learn to speak fluent French? And just like that, bam, my birthday was gone. I don't even know if that fact is true, but I'm probably not getting any presents in September. Then I was watching MasterChef, and this news bulletin came on saying, hundreds of Syrians killed in massacre. And I was like, fuck. I just learnt the secret to the world's greatest chocolate mousse. And that's never coming back. The Syrians are already dead. My taste buds are alive. I saw an ad for a nursing home that said open Thursday to Sunday. I thought, what do they do with the old people the rest of the time? Where are they? Maybe that's an untapped resource. So if you need forgetful laborers to work in your illegal diamond mine, Monday to Wednesday, check them out. I bought a onesie the other day. Great. It's really comfortable and nice, but it's got a little butt flap, which is interesting because I'll sit down to take a shit, and my ass says everything's okay. But the rest of me says, Tim, you're shitting in your clothes. And that is far too familiar a feeling for me. I really like sushi. I like the people who invented sushi. Because there's a bunch of guys who went out fishing, and they caught the fish, and they gutted the fish, and they scaled the fish, and they boned the fish, and then they filleted the fish, and then they cut the fish up into even smaller pieces. And we're like, now all we gotta do is fry it. Fuck it, let's eat it now. Put some soy sauce on it. We're into something big. Sushi must have done wonders for the wasabi industry. There's a bunch of guys standing around being like, hey, do you want some spicy green paste with your food? No, I don't. Sushi guys come along, hey, we've got this new thing, it's just raw fish. All right, guys, here's our chance. Teppanyaki is great as well. Everyone knows what teppanyaki is? Anyone been to teppanyaki? Where they cut the food up in front of you? Yeah, one person. Was it good?
Yeah.
2 people? Was it good? Excellent. I reckon that was invented when there was a shortage of Japanese waiters, but an abundance of untrustworthy chefs. Our last waiter, Fukusan, is not coming in tonight. And Kakeshi swears he will poison someone. get him out there. I actually started doing comedy because of my brother. This is him. His name is Stan. Duh. My father was a lectern. My mother was a mop. Clearly one of us is adopted. It's him. But I can't tell him because he doesn't have any ears. The only difference between me and a proctologist is a degree. Also, I'm much more thorough. I figured out that God exists. Because chickens can't really fly, but they have wings. And chicken wings are delicious. Therefore God exists. And he fucking hates chicken. Be a bunch of chickens standing around being like, I don't really need these. What's this about? I don't know, but we should stop going to church. I'm not employed at the moment. I used to work at the War Memorial, and I'd skip work all the time. And I had to come up with better and better excuses, and eventually I came up with this genius one. I told them I was narcoleptic. But then one day they stopped believing me, and they were like, Tim, you gotta bring in a doctor's certificate for that. So I thought, fine. Was due to come into work with a doctor's certificate the next day. Did not. Came in the day after. They were like, do you have the doctor's certificate? I said, no. They were like, oh, let me guess. You fell asleep before you got there. I was like, no. I got confused and I shat in my onesie. I don't like alfalfa sprouts because to me they look like a bunch of potential trees that just never made it. And that's really sad. Like you could have been a redwood, and you could have been an oak, and you might have even been a victory bell. You're welcome. Sometimes when alfalfa sprouts make me sad, I like to look at something, or I like to think about things that make me happy. And one of those things used to be billless ducks. In my head, it's like a broom handle with eyes. And then I got the genius idea to Google billless ducks. Now they don't make me happy anymore. What's worse is I see normal ducks, and I look at them being like, you have no idea how easy you've made it. Sorry, I'm really thirsty. Sometimes I'm a bit too literal, but in the wrong way. Like the other day, my mum asked me to take the bins out, so I did. We went to a lovely restaurant. We had a nice meal. We watched a movie. Then I spent most of the rest of the evening inside them. But that's not too bad. Then the other day, I had the family cat in my arms, and I was running around the house. My dad said, Tim, put that cat down. It was that night that I learned for absolute certain that cats do have 9 lives. It's just in their last 8 they are silent and motionless. Hate the phrase, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. Because lemons are really versatile. You can do a lot with lemons, like there's lemon meringue pie and like lemon chicken and stuff. The phrase is supposed to be, here's something shit, do the only good thing you can with it. So I was coming up with some alternatives. Like, when life gives you a rotten watermelon, fuck it. When life gives you a dead possum, fuck it. I like to live like a snail, or at least I like to have snail-like goals, because then when I get up in the morning and go to the bathroom, that's the equivalent of a 48-hour journey. I can be pleased with myself. But if I want to be really pleased with myself, I just jump. And I'm like, how the fuck did I do that? I don't even care. Because it's time for lettuce. Devo said, when a problem comes along, you must whip it. Yes. That's perfectly good advice for the cream. But if you have testicular cancer, do not heed Devo's advice. I'm gonna end it. There's been a lot of sex talk, so I'm gonna end tonight on the story of my first time. It was summer when I was in year 11. I was 16, and I had a shitty day at school, and I was headed home, and my girlfriend at the time sent me a text saying, make sure you're home at 5. I've got a surprise for you. So I was like, fuck yeah. So I'm on the bus, I get home, bang on 5, walk in the door, walk to my room, and sprawled out sexily across my bed is a decapitated cat. And at that very moment, I get another text from my girlfriend saying, surprise! People complain that that's not a story about my first time, but it reminds me of a famous saying, when life gives you a headless cat. Thank you very much.